Hi all, Craig Williamson here. I've decided to make this video basically to share with you more about who I am and why I'm actually doing this, why I'm making these videos, where I come from, where I'm going. So I'm going to try and make it brief, but forgive me if it goes on a short while longer than maybe we hoped. Actually, you'll know how long this video is because it will tell you. Okay, so the short version of this is that I'm writing a book called The Authentic You. This has been a lifetime in the making, and I went on a very interesting journey to get to the point of writing this. It's not completed yet, will be soon, and I'll give you updates on that when it's available. Now, the reason I'm making all these videos is because I was brought up by a very intelligent man who was into personal development, into harnessing the powers that he had through martial arts and other areas of life, and I had a wonderful mother. Um, However, I didn't realise, as you don't about your parents, that you're brought up with their belief system and they're always imposing it on you. Whether it's good intentioned or just their default, you're always receiving it. Um, and then we go out into the world and we try and figure it out for ourselves based on their premises that they've set us and what we've then also seen to be true. So I went out into the world and I worked in sales, in professional business to business sales, and advertising sales and insurance sales. I'd never known what I really wanted to do in my life, and I kind of got pushed into that direction, and I was good at it. Enjoyed some days more than others, but I was never really fulfilled. Through one of those roles, I met some people who did events and helped identify some other areas of personal development information that I could get. Different books to read. I met one guy who gave me a list of about 40 books. And so I just went on Amazon and bought them all in one go. And then worked my way through them. And I was already into personal development in some other areas. I'd done a lot of things in my life that most people didn't believe would have been possible. Some of which are written about in the book. And I then found myself, I didn't find myself, I went into doing a coaching accreditation, so life coaching, performance coaching. From there, while I had gone through that process and brought on clients and was charging a few £100 an hour, and being paid for public speaking, etc., I then entered a time in my life which I hadn't planned for, but as a long-term result was probably the darkest time in my life, the most painful time in my life, but as yet turned out to be the most rewarding. I entered a relationship with somebody who I cared very much about, but had some issues, let's put it that way. Some troubles in life that they were dealing with. And kind of before I knew it, we had 2 children. But just before the birth of our youngest, who was a year and a half younger than my oldest, we had found out the private rented accommodation we were living in, the landlady wanted to sell the property, apparently. So our daughter was due in December, and in November we had a notice to quit. That notice to quit actually later, subsequently, and from my beliefs, from what I've found out, and I may be wrong, but it's what it looked to be, she just wanted us out to make money off the Olympics. Because the Olympics were coming to Stratford, and we were living in East London at the time on the Isle of Dogs, and she'd heard about the extra money that was being made from all the properties that were renting out to people coming from overseas, paying a premium to come and stay here for the Olympics. Now, at the time, because of my partner's ill health during the pregnancy, I wasn't working. It had been a very hard time, and I was unable to maintain working at that time just because of the strain and pressures on me at all hours of the day and night. So we then came to a point where my daughter was born, and very shortly afterwards, my partner at the time, the children's mother, became seriously ill, very seriously ill, and ended up having a massive breakdown, ended up in hospital for a year plus, then back and forth ever since. Now, she's a great person, she's got a great heart, but she became very ill. I then entered a period of time where I hadn't planned to become a full-time single father. I hadn't even envisaged the idea that would happen. But all of a sudden, there I am as a single full-time father with a 1.5-year-old son and a newborn baby daughter, on my own, in a property that I was about to be made homeless from. Because I wasn't in a position at that moment in time to just go and get into a new place, as much as I wished I could. And then the homeless service were basically refusing to help us. I spoke to some incompetent people there that didn't believe the documents that were given to us were legal, and their advice was pretty much, for the most part until near the end when they tried to help us but it was too late, was just stay in the property until the court bailiffs are at the door, and then they will be forced to help us. And my argument was, don't be ridiculous. I've got a 1.5-year-old son, a newborn baby, and a 2-bedroom house full of stuff. And you want me to wait till the court bailiff's at the door saying you've got half an hour to get out of the property before it's boarded up or less, and you want me to get them and everything out into the street, and then the magic other way of moving everything to your offices when you will be forced to help us. Complete rubbish. Anyway, luckily a family member helped us get another place just before that point had come, to which I'm very grateful to that person. But it entered a very dark time in my life, which was blessed with the children and wonderful things, but internally, emotionally, I wasn't prepared to cope with any of that situation that I had put myself in. And I had to grow, and I had to change. And for a while I just went into a survival mode, as you do. You just got to survive through it. And I'd made a commitment to my children that I would be there for them, and I would make sure they were well and they were looked after and they got everything they needed and they were safe. At the time I was still continuing to try and do what I could for their mother. However, it came a point where I had to make a decision for the well-being of our children, to focus more upon them. And so it was an extremely hard decision, but I did. My children are the greatest blessing I've ever received. That time in my life, looking back, there was times I was suicidal, but I couldn't do anything about it because I'd made that commitment to my children. So it was a real tough time for me. And then I managed to get my mind set back into the personal development world that I'd been in and seeking out further knowledge. I then found as much as I could do to refocus my mindset, to refocus me and bring myself out of that place and become a successful father who's got a beautiful home for his children, has provided them in any way I can with everything they need and most of what they want. But it took a massive transformation for me at that time to deal with everything I was going through. It took all of my knowledge plus gaining more. I had to grow. I had to learn more. And I had to discover what the missing pieces were to this game of life, and understand why some people seem to be living a lifestyle of blessings while others were in places of suffering and pain. And so the knowledge I had wasn't complete. Do you know, it's still not complete, because I'm always learning new things and I'm always growing. I spend a fortune on personal development material, on everything from the newest, most cutting edge information based in science or based in spirituality, based in belief systems. Everything from Anthony Robbins to Abraham Hicks to Joe Vitale, to so many names. And do you know what, they escape me at the moment, because then I'm looking back at Napoleon Hill 100 years ago or more now. I'm looking back at people that are educators thousands of years ago. Even Shakespeare with "Till I know myself be true." You know, I've grown so much information, so much data, so much then life experience, and I learned to meditate. Meditation being this process of quieting your mind and aligning with your inner being. Your inner being, your inner force, your God force. And taking inspiration and knowledge from the universe. So why am I telling you all this? It's a good question. Because I've realised that one of the things that was holding me back was that I still kind of had this fear of being judged or rejected. And I realised something: you can't be rejected. You can only reject yourself. And everybody's going to judge me based on their belief systems and their filters and what they're thinking and what their programming tells them. Because when we're born, we have a spiritual connection to our source energy, to pure positive, pure energy. And we're born then and given a brain. Now our heart is there before our brain is. You check that out in biology. Our heart is there before our brain is. But our brain becomes a sponge, and it has one basic program, which is survival. And it tries to protect you. And you have an RAS, a reticular activating system, which then filters what's important to you and what you've told your brain is important. Now, your brain then uses all the billions of bits of data and information around it, filters it through the RAS, and just gives you to think about and focus upon the things that you've decided are important to focus on. So you can be missing billions of bits of information behind you and around you. Everything from the feel of the fabric of the chair, sofa, or place you're sitting right now, if you're sitting, to the feel of your clothing on your body, to the smell in the air, to the colours around you, to the temperature of your body, to the speed of the beat of your heart. All these bits of information your brain knows. But because it would be too much conscious overload in many ways for us to just take it all in and actually try and think about that, we have something called the RAS, which filters all that in a shape of, if you imagine it like a pyramid is a good shape to give you a visualization, and all the billions of bits of data going at the bottom, and they're processed up and up and up to being the few key points that you've decided your focus is upon in any given moment, any given day. And those come to the surface more, such as why we see a certain type of car when it means something to us because a family member's got it, or we've decided we like it and we want to see it more, or we want to buy one or whatever. Or why when you're talking about babies, all of a sudden you start seeing babies everywhere. Now, that's a two-pronged thing that most people don't realise. In fact, I've not heard anybody else speak of it so far, which is, it's not only your reticular activating system that's bringing it to your attention, it's actually the universal law of attraction that are bringing these rendezvous to you. And your brain, because you've said it's important, is then highlighting them for your attention. Do you know what? The discoveries I've made, the knowledge I've gained, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I've gone through the dark times. If there was a shorter route, then maybe I'd have preferred I hadn't gone through them. But you know what? Because of the knowledge I've gained, the reason I'm telling you all this is because I want to use it to give you a gift and maybe save you some of what I went through to discover the knowledge that I've discovered. Because I've gone to some of the scarcest not scarcest, most, that's the wrong word. I've gone to some of the most obscure, that's what I was looking for. Obscure places to find information throughout history and the current time, to gain knowledge and information that is how we shape our own realities. We actually have the power to create our own realities, and it's a combination of the universe trying to provide us everything we've desired, because in the moment you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and the universe tries to line that up for you and stores it in like a vibrational bank account for you to collect. Or in the moment you know you do want something and you desire it, the universe lines it up for you. Now you might have noticed the things you really, 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 really want, but notice you really, really don't have, take longer in coming than the cup of tea or the conversation or the nice smile of the stranger that you quite kind of like think, that'd be nice, but don't put any more energy into. Or you focus on something so purely that you know it's going to happen. Like, regardless of your thoughts and opinions on Donald Trump, the way he speaks, the way he thinks is going to be, it's done. Because I've decided it's done. It's like Will Smith. He says the same. I've decided it's done. It's just going to come to me. If you have that kind of belief mentality, it is done. It will come to you. Whatever it is, whatever you desire, or something better that's a better fit with you will come and fill that gap you're looking to fill. So I've done this video to lay me bare, because I didn't really want to tell the story of my past. I didn't believe it was going to serve me, and I thought some people might just totally alienate me because of it and miss out on the valuable knowledge that I'm trying to share. The knowledge I'm sharing comes from a place of love, comes from a place of love for this world, and desiring for my children and for the rest of this world to know you really are powerful. You really create your own reality. You are the creator of it. You are the thinker of the thoughts that comes to be your reality. And you have an emotional guidance system that tells you either what you're thinking is in line with the original authentic you, your loving self, or it's not, and it comes from a place of fear and lack. And in which case, you'll feel negative emotion if you're coming from that place. If it's aligned with you, you'll feel positive, you'll feel great. You will feel fantastic. Sorry, I noticed that on here my eyes seem to be looking down, and it's because I've got a large camera and the camera lens is right at the top. However, there you go, that's a bit better. However, I want to tell you this. Whatever you've gone through is a gift. Whatever you're in is an opportunity. You are amazing. You have the power to create your reality, and you have the power to change your life. It's not controlled by anybody else but what you choose to focus upon. You are so free, you can choose to be bound by somebody else and their beliefs, or you can choose to live your own. You are so powerful and free, you can choose to do anything in any given moment. Whether your thinking allows it or not, you have a choice to do something that's completely out of the ordinary, something that's completely extraordinary in that moment, in every moment for your life. And so I'm writing this book, and I'm going to be creating courses and live events. I want to get on stage in front of the world, and this is one of the means, through videos going on YouTube and other websites that I want to share this knowledge. And so I've laid myself bare to know, you know what, this isn't coming from a place of greed or gain or anything else or trickery. It's just I had to learn. I had to learn to get out of the place I was in to get back on my path. Well, that was probably part of my path. In fact, it was my path to go there to learn the knowledge that I've got to give to the world. Because for most of my life, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but this is one thing that keeps nagging at me the whole time when I'm not doing it. This is one thing that keeps pulling on my heart and my head when I'm not doing it. If I'm off doing something else that's of a lesser value to myself and the world, I have a constant nagging inside of me to get back to writing, to get back to doing the videos, to get back to putting this knowledge out there, to sharing it with people it can make a difference to. It can positively impact. And so this is me being my authentic self. Do you know, we are all connected. At a base form, we are all energy. We all came from the same source, and we're all still connected to that same source into multiple things. Anything that's alive on this planet, and that includes the entire planet. And inanimate objects as well are vibrational. They're energy. Everything is made up of energy, and as thus we are all connected. The intelligent energy is all connected. So this is me being as most open and honest as I've ever been in my life with anything, authentically. And now I'm going to be posting this video live for the entire world to see. And to my children, at some point you're going to watch this video, I expect, and the rest of my family, I love you and I thank you all for everything that you've given me and every experience I've had with you. Whether we claim it's positive or not so, it's all worked out positively well. It's all been great. I love you all. Do you know what, this was one of my biggest fears? Bearing myself naked to the world. But something I learned recently was once you face those fears, because yeah, fear is going to be a player in your life, but it's just your survival programming, your base programming trying to protect you. It doesn't know whether what it's doing is right or wrong. It's just trying to protect you. It just fears growth, it fears exposure, it fears putting yourself into a place of danger. And do you know when you step beyond that fear, when you go, I appreciate the fear, but I'm gonna do it anyway. God, the feeling the other side is amazing. I'm feeling the energy flying through me right now. This pure, positive, powerful energy of love that I can do and have anything and everything and achieve everything. And so yeah, I'm going to share this knowledge. Loads of it I'm going to share for free. Some of it I'm going to package into material that I'm going to sell. Because why the hell not? I need to live, I need to feed my family. And I want to grow, because the more I grow, the more is available to me, the more I'll have reach to reach the rest of the world and give this knowledge to the rest of the world. Money and love and life and everything is all good. Something else I discovered a long time ago, and it seems to be resoundingly true. Things we're given for free, we don't put a value on as much as the things we pay for. Even if it's paying a small amount of money for it, once you've paid for it, you've invested something into it. Whether it's your time or money, and time and money. Once you've invested in it, then it's got some importance to you. Anyway, I'm going to let you go now. 24 minutes, 25 minutes. So thank you very much if you've stayed this long. I will do everything I can to share all the knowledge I get that's of value to anybody. To realise that you don't need to be the best at something to do it. But if you've got knowledge, even a few steps ahead, 2 steps ahead, even 1 step ahead of somebody else, you can help somebody else. So share what you've got. Share it freely. Share it easily and make it accessible to all. Because there's people that are going through things that you may have already been through. You found a path through the woods, and you can show that path to other people. I think I could keep talking for hours, but I think this feels like a good place to stop right now. So thank you very much. I love you all. And don't worry, it's all going to work out good in the end. It's all going to work out good right now if you choose to see it as an opportunity. I love you all. Thank you very much. Bless you.